Well, hello folks, how are you today? It is Sharon here from IRESTORESTUFF, where I upcycle furniture and home decor. But you can find me live every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. CST, here on the Essential Stencil page, ready to give you a demo of their awesome products. And today we're going to be featuring the new spring and Easter and Valentine related transfers, which are really fun. So if you are watching the replay, you can comment the word replay and go in a chance to win a $20 gift voucher for Essential Stencil. If you're joining us here live, don't forget to join in the conversation, because that's where we'll be picking winners from at the end of our live for a chance to win a giveaway, and it's a $20 Essential Stencil gift voucher. So people are jumping on now. I see Dominica, Bonnie, hi Kathy, Susan. Great, good afternoon and good evening everybody. And it's Thursday morning here in Australia where I am from, so if you're new to Essential Stencil, let us know also while you're watching. And I'm going to be following along with your comments here on my laptop. But don't forget that anything you purchase using my code, IRESTORESTUFF, that's the code you need today, you can save 10%. That's store-wide on essentialstencil.com. And so that's the code you need to remember, IRESTORESTUFF, which is the name of my blog or business here in Australia. So the brand new spring transfers, and that includes these. Now I want to be demoing those today. And there's one of these is so popular that it's almost sold out. So I'll be letting you know about that one. So you want to grab a hold of that if you don't have it already. There's only about 12 left. And there's plenty of the others though, and they will be getting more. So don't worry about it. They will be getting some more. So there's those, and the stencil sets that I'll be using today will be this one, Loved, John 3:16. So that's a single set, and you can grab that with that discount code as well, IRESTORESTUFF discount code. And you can also grab the Baked with Love set of 3 mini tags. We'll be using that set today. Something from that set. As you know, if you've watched me a lot of times before, we kind of mix and match stencils and transfers and things like that, so we'll be doing a bit of that today. Hello Brenda, how are you? Yes, they are adorable, aren't they? Now I've pre-painted a couple of boards. This one I've painted in Fusion Mineral Paints Lamp White, which is an off-white. You can see that it's not a pure white, but that's because I wanted it to sort of blend in with some of the transfers that I'll be using on that one today. So that's lamp white. And then I've also pre-stained this wooden tag. So I'll show you the original, what the original color of the tag looks like. And it's this raw pine. So I've stained it in sort of a walnut kind of a color. You can use any water-based stain that you like. You could use an oil-based one if you like, but I like to use the water-based because then the paints go over the top of it nicely. Hello. Hi, Ellen. Thank you so much. You ordered all 3 sets and you can't wait to get them. All right. First of all, I just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, because I wasn't here with you last week. I was on holidays with my family, taking a bit of a vacation here at home, but still, when our boys come up from Melbourne, it's like, stop everything, let's hang out with the family. So it was great to be able to do that. But we are back. It's a brand new year. I'm just going to be looking for my live here so I can see your comments. Here we go. You've never tried the transfers, Ellen. Well, here's a good chance to try those. Now, let's just have a look at those. And you'll see in the description of our live, you'll see links. Using my code is also helpful, IRESTORESTUFF. Use the links in the description of the live, and hopefully we can get some of those pinned comments with the links for you as well. So let's have a look at those. We've got the vintage floral bunnies, lots of vintage theme and spring theme. Aren't they just adorable? Now they come, each one comes in 2 sheets. I'll be opening some of these later so that you can see them. But you can see there's some larger bunnies, some smaller ones, small eggs, large eggs, all sorts of designs on that one. So there's that. And there are the vintage butterflies. And so there's a close-up of some of that side. And these are the smaller, and then there's some, so this is that sheet here, and then there's some larger butterflies and spring flowers on that sheet over there. So we'll be using some of those. And the last one, I love these, and you know what, these are so popular that I had a look, there's only 12 left of these at the moment. Currently, will be ordering more, but if you didn't want to miss out on them right now, I suggest you jump over to Essential Stencil right now using the link in the description of the live. Use my code IRESTORESTUFF, grab your 10% off. Now, there is something else with the transfers. I'll let you know that the more sets you purchase, the more you save. So if you get one set, they're at one price. If you get, I think it's 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, and 4. So if you purchase a set of 4, you're saving even more. If you purchase a set of 2, you'll save more. It'll show you that when you get the options to how many sets you want. Now, if you realize, you'll also realize that our stencils you can use over and over and over again, but the transfers are a single use. So once you've used this little bunny here, for example, it's used, you can't use it again. So that's why they offer it in several sheets at a time. But don't forget, if you do want the stamps, they've been really popular. They're running out. There's about 12 left on the site. Use my code IRESTORESTUFF to grab those right now, and then jump back and have a look at the live and see what we're doing, okay? So thank you so much for sprinkling too. There's some of those people who are sharing our live right now with your friends, with your groups, all of that kind of thing. That's amazing. All right, we'll have a look at those. The other thing I wanted to mention, and so because we have people jumping on, jumping off the live every now and then, I might be repeating myself a couple of times, but I did want to mention, here's my little piece of cardboard I usually offload on, so you'll see that featured in a minute. But I had some notes here to tell you. There's a free gift promo going on in January. And so you'll notice when you pop something in your cart at the checkout, it'll pop out a little screen and it'll say, you've unlocked a free gift if you get over a certain amount. So once you get to $40, there's a free gift. It's a set of mini tags. Then once you get to $65 in your checkout, it unlocks another mystery gift, which is a mystery. So even I don't know what it is. And then once you get to $90 in the checkout, you unlock another mystery gift. So there's that going on in January. Also, Essential Stencil has their Christmas gift to you and their New Year's gift to you is free shipping all of January within the USA. So remember, we just shipped within the USA, free shipping January. So there's that to take advantage of, plus all these transfers, plus so much fun new stencils and that kind of thing. Let's get started with our stencils. To start with, I'll be layering the transfers over the top of these. The first one we'll be working on is this Loved John 3:16, and that is a single set. Yes, don't forget that if you drop a comment, so let Essential Stencil know you're here, especially if you're brand new to stenciling. Let us know that. We've got lots of helpers here in the comments who would love to help you. If you have questions about stenciling, let me know. I love to go back through our comments and just make sure that we've answered any questions for you. There's the new spring transfers. You can see the pinned comment at the top shows you where you can get all of those. So the Loved stencil, I've placed it there nicely on my signboard. Now the stencils, this stencil itself is 16 inches by 7 inches. All the measurements are right there on the website. So I usually like to just find a signboard and see what fits on it. But if you wanted to measure your signboard specifically for the stencil, this one comes a little bit over the top and runs short on either side. But the size you'll need is 16 inches by 7 inches. That's the size of the actual stencil itself, which gives a nice little gap around the edges for your lettering to make sure it's not pushed right up against the edge. Okay, so I want to center that around about the center of my board, and then I'm going to add some vintage floral spring butterflies. What do we call it? Vintage butterflies is this pack here. So let's open that up and have a look, because what I want to do is choose my colors for my wording according to the butterfly colors that we've got here. So depending on the one I choose, they are similar tones. So I got out a couple of the blues to pull out those blue tones. Some are a little bit darker blue, some are like a seasidey kind of blue. We've got this color infusion called Blue Pine, and I thought this one suits this butterfly well here. It's got some of those blue colours in there. And there's also this colour called Cambridge, and it's a really deep dark blue, which would suit some of these like darker blue colours that would pull out from those butterflies there. So the other colour is Cast Iron, which is a really dark black. If you would like, it's like a, dark black, it's a dark charcoal colour. So it'd pull out some of these colours that are in this butterfly here, which are sort of dark but not quite black. Excuse my niggly throat today. I feel like I'm losing my voice. Just got a little bit of a niggly cold or something. All right. You can tape this down if you like, because that's sometimes helpful to tape your, I'm just kind of de-sticking the tape a little bit. If you wanted to, you could sort of put it on a surface like your clothing. Sometimes I put it on my apron, just so that it's not too sticky where it's going to peel the paint off. And that will keep that in place. I thought I'd use a shadowing technique. A lot of you like when I do that. Now the other thought I did have was this John 3:16 here. You could tape that off and leave that off if you just wanted loved, or you could place the John 3:16 somewhere else. And I was thinking you could even put it up the side of your stencil here as well. But for today, I'm just going to leave that all in place exactly like that, because then we're going to fit some butterflies up and around here. I might actually cut what I'm going to use out first. Now here is the two sheets. So you can see that the butterflies on the one sheet are a little bit smaller than some of the larger butterflies featured on here. So these ones probably wouldn't suit this sign because it would take over the whole sign. But I want to add, I want to add a few butterflies that might go nicely. That would probably pull out that blue pine colour. So let's go with that one to start with. Sometimes I might not catch all of your comments, so when I get a little gap I can glance over, but keep them coming, because our comment section is where we're going to choose our lucky winners at the end of our live. There'll be 3 lucky winners who will go get a $20 gift card from Essential Stencil. So this one I thought would look beautiful just right here. And I'm not too worried if it does go over the letter E, because we can also stencil on top of the butterfly. So we could do that and then come back later and go over it again. The others, I could add some smaller ones around the side here. I feel like we kind of need 3, only because that's usually sort of a florist's rule of, or I guess it's an artistic thing, that you usually do odd numbers. So I like this cute little butterfly. He could sit down here, or it could sit right in here. That would suit there. And again, not too worried about going under or over those. Thank you, Kathy. Deb's watching from Vegas airport during a long layover. I'm glad we could be a distraction for you. And there are beautiful butterflies on each one, but I'm going for the smaller ones today. Here's another bluish coloured one. So the transfers, you just cut them out, the size, the transfer itself, just cut right around it. And I think that one would fit nicely there or down the bottom, and it doesn't matter if it goes over the bottom of the L. So there's a few that I can do. So I'm going to do my stencil first. Don't forget, use my code IRESTORESTUFF, save your 10% on all of these new transfers and any of the stencils and the brushes, all of the things, anything on Essential Stencil's site. Okay, I've got one of our brushes. Now we've got our brushes in stock. They come in a set of 4 different size stencil brushes. So I've got my offloading cardboard here. I think I told you all of the things. Yep, at the checkout, January, we're running a free gift promo, so you'll see that. The transfers, the more sets you purchase, the more you save. That's also self-explanatory on the website when you see that there. Thanks, Christina. Thanks for sprinkling. Okay. what colour was I going to go? I was going to do maybe the shadow as in the blue colour. So let's do this blue pine. I think that will work well. And then cast iron over the top of it, because I think it's a little bit more of a contrast than the cast iron with this darker blue, because they might not show up as much. So we always do the colour we want underneath as the shadow. We do that first, and then the colour you want as bold and standing out on top, that's the one you'll do last. So I'm going to just grab a little bit of paint there on my brush, just a little bit. On any of our lives here, we show you our best stenciling tips and techniques. So we just offload. You see I've just offloaded until it's almost dry on the brush. And that will help to stop any bleeding that you don't want underneath the stencil edges, so you don't get fuzzy edges on your stencil. So some people you will inevitably jump in the comments and say, I've tried stenciling, I've tried everything, and I still get messy edges, fuzzy edges. The key is like 99.9% of the time, it's too much paint on the brush. And so you can see that I'm just kind of doing a rubbing, swirling method here. Let's move that down a little bit so you can see it better. I'm just swirling, and I'm just starting to run out of paint on my brush here. So see that last little bit of the L just started to run out of paint, and it's not as solid in that area. So I'll go add some more on my brush, offload it here. It is a lovely colour, isn't it? It's called Blue Pine, and it's by Fusion Mineral Paint. Now what I might do for the verse down here is I might do that in this colour but not shadow over the top of it, so it's a different colour. Adding a bit more. And as we swirl, you get to know how much you need on your brush, and so I always tell people, if you're really not confident, have a practice on a piece of cardboard or a paper or some cardstock or just a scrap piece of wood. Have it go on something else first. So Essential Stencils jumped in the comments there and reminding us that all of January you have a free gift offer. Once you hit $40 at the checkout, you'll get a little mini tag set, and then once you hit, I think it is $40, $65 and $90. At the $65 and $90 marks, you'll get a mystery gift. So that's something fun to look forward to. Okay, we're nearly finished the words up here, and then we will do the scripture verse, John 3:16 down below. And then when I go to do the top layer, so I'm creating, this is going to be the shadow behind the words. And so we'll just see a nice subtle blue popping out from behind the charcoal colour that I'm going to put on top of here. But when I do that second colour, I'll tape off this John 3:16, because I think I'd like to keep that in that blue colour, just to have a little bit of something different. It'll make that reference stand out too. Okay, if you think you need a second coat, you can just wait till that's completely dry. I usually wait till it's very, very dry so that we're not trying to, because sometimes if you go too early and the paint is still wet, it will pull away that first layer, depending on your painted surface underneath, really, but yeah. Oh, Brenda's asking, are the mini tags just for this promo or something that could be purchased? So the mini tags, you're talking about the free gift mini tags. They will be available as a free gift until they sell out, but you can check, I think they're called Valentine Gnomes or something, and you can look them up on the website and see if you can actually purchase those. So, okay, so there is nice crisp edges, and if you wanted to see those little gaps, which are called bridges in the lettering, if you wanted to, you can grab any of these come in a set of 6, detail brushes, and they've got a very pointy edge on them, a little tiny pointy edge. And you can go over those, I'm not going to do this now, but you can go over those little bridges and fill in the little gaps. It gives it a bit of a stenciled look if you don't have those on, but some people like to fill in all those bridges. Let me know what you usually do. Do you like to fill in your bridges? All right, let's see. I was going to go over the top now in a charcoal colour. So what we want to do for shadowing, and I was going to use the same colour brush, but no, that might confuse us. So we will just put that in a little plastic bag, just in case I want to use that colour again later. And when I'm finished everything, I just pop them all in water to rinse them off. Don't forget to stay tuned, because I'm going to use this mini wooden tag and add some of the a mini stencil and one of the beautiful, beautiful stamp transfers. So if you weren't here earlier, I did see on the website there was only about 12 of these left. They are restocking these, but if you want to grab them now, go ahead and do that. Use my code IRESTORESTUFF to get you 10% off. Chuck it in the checkout. You might even get a free gift option unlocked if you put a few things in there. Oh, leave my tape on. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is tape off this John 3:16, because I'm going to leave that in the blue colour. All right, so we've got around about that length. Grabbing a drink of water. Meg, you bought the stamp transfers today. Amazing. Vic, love the roses. Oh, where are the roses? Oh yeah, the roses on the stamps, you can just see them there. They're gorgeous. And there's beautiful little flowers, spring flowers in the butterfly collection. So I'm just going to pop that over the top of the John 3:16. So that's going to stand out in that blue. Then I'm going to go over this. Here's how we do our shadowing. If you've never done this before, or if you have, here's a reminder. So I lay down, I'll just stand up so we can bring this in closer. I lay down the stencil exactly where it's supposed to be. You line it up. Then I shift it slightly to one side. So for me, I'm going to shift it slightly that side. Did you see the gap come? And then slightly up. So if I just shift it slightly across, slightly up, I should be able to see that blue colour, and I'm taping down those edges with my thumbs. So you can see a little gap. See the white gap? And it's on, oh, let's see, is that your left side? I'm upside down and flipped around, so I can't tell. But on this side here, there's a little white gap where you can see I've shifted the stencil over and shifted it up. Okay, so that's all you do for shadowing. If you're not confident with shadowing, practice on cardboard. But that is really as simple as it is to do. All right, another brush. This is a 5/8 inch brush. I've got a couple of sets of brushes, so I've probably used the same size. Have I? Oh no, the other one was a 3/4 brush. So this one's a bit smaller. Yes, Peggy, I love using the transfers too. All right, this colour is called Cast Iron, just a really dark charcoaly grey. Hopefully these two colours, the blue pine and the charcoal, are enough of a contrast to be able to see that shadow underneath. I don't know, we'll see when we're finished. All right, so I'm jumping on here. We're going to go all around again and make a nice solid colour. And so it's going to fill in that white gap, and it's going to leave a bit of the gap on the other side. Now this charcoal, I can tell just by looking really closely at it, you probably can't see from there, that I can see through a little bit of it. So I might need a second coat. So I will do a second coat on this, get it all dry. To speed up the process, I've got a hairdryer here, so we'll do that in just a minute. But this swirling method is a little bit easier than the pouncing. Some people do this pouncing method, and I find that it just doesn't get enough on. Probably if you had more paint on the brush, the pouncing method would work, but you do risk getting that underneath. So that's just my way of doing it. A lot of people will also use the makeup wedges as an option as well. Who is that? Sue. Sue, you're a regular here and you still haven't had the nerve to shadow yet. Come on, girl, you can do it. You can do it. Practice on some cardboard. Too easy, because then it doesn't matter if you mess up. It's just a piece of cardboard. And it really doesn't use a lot of paint. So, and here's the thing. If you practice on a piece of cardstock, for example, you could, and if it works out nicely, you've got yourself a little card, gift card or something for somebody. So come on, let's have a go, Sue. I reckon. I believe in you. Ellen says, I'm always afraid of messing up my sign. Time to try it out. Yes, Ellen, you can do it. You can do it. I'm here to encourage you. You can look at this, look back at this video. You can look back at other videos. We have, I have lots of examples. I'm actually going over to do that second coat now. And usually I would dry this off with the hairdryer first, but I'm finding that it's actually filling in and creating that nice solid look. So we'll just go with that. Jean, you're not good with makeup wedges. Yeah, I struggle with using those too. Kimberly, you've shadowed ever since I learned from Sharon. Oh, that's awesome. Kimberly's shadowing. It really gives it a nice 3D look. Pops out the lettering and the wording. I'll show you the difference, but you'll be able to see the difference between the word that I've got the shadow on and then that John 3:16, which is just a standalone. Well, hopefully it stands out with the two colours that I've picked. You really do better choosing two colours that are really contrasting in, what do you call that, in shade, like dark, light, dark versus light, or, you know, even the tone. So like a dark blue versus a really light blue. I'm not sure what the proper wording is. Tone, shade. Okay, so I'm just going over that second coat, making sure that charcoal colour is really solid. It almost looks black, but it is a charcoal colour. Dip it in, rub it off onto the cardboard. Away we go. And then we get to add our transfers in a minute. You'll get to see. Don't forget to join in and hang out here with us live for a chance to win gift cards at the end of our live. All right, let's take a look at that. I will pop this colour into the plastic bag that I've got here with this one. And that's in case I need to use that colour again. Because it's better to pop it in a plastic bag and keep it for another time rather than wash it out, because if you want to use it again, you can't use the brush if it's still got water in it. Okay, so let me get that up real close. You can just see that shadowing. I have to get it really close for you to see. So it's not as noticeable when you use two dark colours like I've done. But if I used a lighter blue, that would probably pop even more. But see the John 3:16 at the bottom? That's the colour blue that's on that shadowing that you can see standing out there. So hopefully you can see that. All right, so that's done. Before we put our transfers on, well, we probably could. I think that's, let me just hit it with the hairdryer and we'll see. Someone received their flower transfer yesterday. Beautiful. Thanks, Peggy. Oh, thank you, Melissa. I love teaching people techniques and things. So, yeah, if you see it in real life, you can sort of see how that stands out there. Yeah, Teresa, I agree. You can't see too much of a contrast with the charcoal and the blue. But in person, it sort of does pop out. But if I had a really light blue, see, I think it would work out better. Let's try these transfers now. Oh, I've got another one. I don't know if I picked that one or if it was just left over from where I cut them out. So I'm using the butterfly transfers for this project, and then I'm going to use the stamp transfers and these mini tags and this wooden tag for something coming up in just a minute. Oh, I've got it out of shot. I'm going to use this wooden tag. don't go anywhere. All right. I just want 3 on here, and now I can't remember which 3 I had. I know I had this larger one for in here. Does this one fit? Maybe it's too, I think it's too big. This one will fit nicely here, and we'll put this one here. Okay, I think that's about right. We've got sort of a middle, a bottom, and a top. So I might do this larger one first. Let me just move this down a little bit closer to where you can see it. Oh. Now I'm going to place the transfer. All you need is a store card or something that's like a really hard plastic, so you can get these tools from Essential Stencil too, or just use, some people even just use their fingernails. I have to use mine sometimes. We're just removing the paper backing. Okay, see that's the white paper backing, and then you're left with the transfer. This is a sticky side, so don't touch that. And then you see the color transfer here, so the sticky side is kind of white. And you put that down exactly where you want it. So I'm just making sure my butterfly fits on the top here. And actually it fits nicely right on top of that E, if I just place it right on top of the E here. Once I've got it in place, I'm just going to rub that with my fingers and then start rubbing the transfer. Usually you start from one edge and work your way back. I'm just going to rub it all over because this is a fairly small one. If you have a really large transfer, you can just sort of work in sections and start peeling away that top plastic layer. So right now you can see the top plastic layer on there. Now I'm going to lift that top layer, and because I've rubbed it on, this one is working nicely for me. I had one, I think it was last week, that was not cooperating very well. Sometimes it just depends on, maybe I've left my transfers in the heat. It's just been really hot here in Australia, so maybe that was it. But these ones are doing great. So we just remove that plastic backing. See, as I rub, I just lift it a little bit and away we go. I think we've rubbed it all nicely. So once we've taken that top sheet off, put that aside, that goes in the bin, I'm just going to tap that down with my fingers. Make sure every little part is nice and smooth. And look, it just looks like I've painted that myself. I feel like a real artist, except I didn't do it. Aren't they beautiful? They just have the most beautiful, I think they're watercolor type transfers. Essential Stencil has some lovely designs. If you just type in the word transfers on Essential Stencil's website, you'll find the whole range that's in stock at the moment. If there are items out of stock, they usually have a little section where you can just let them know you want to know when that one's going to be back in stock. Oh, I could add this up here, but I feel like I want to lay it down a little bit so that I could go sideways. Oh, too many decisions. Just going to plonk it down anywhere. But isn't this beautiful? I like the loved. It's kind of a Valentine's theme and the spring for the flowers, but really this kind of sign you could use all year round. It's an all year round kind of sign. So these transfers can be used for all sorts of things. I've put them on glass jars before. These would look great for those of you who love to do journaling. You can use them for crafty times. Or does anyone still do scrapbooking? Imagine these in your scrapbooking. That would just look beautiful. Okay, there we go, nicely put on. And so that's just going over the top of that letter right here. I'll show you that really close. You can still see it over that painted last tip of the D. And then the last one we'll add over here. And then we will start on our wood tag. So we'll be doing that next. All right, my last butterfly, spring butterfly. This is the vintage, what did we call it? Vintage butterflies, I think it says on the back. Vintage butterflies, correct. And these are brand new here this week, and you can get 10% off their whatever they are on the website right now by just adding my code IRESTORESTUFF at the checkout. Easy, too easy. And then don't forget, if you spend $40, you earn in the checkout will automatically flag that you have earned yourself a free gift. If you spend $65, you get a free mystery gift, and then $90, there's another layer, another mystery gift set or stencil. It'll tell you. Yes, so someone was maybe asking about sealing them. Ellen's asking, do you seal them? If so, with what? Yes, so whatever you would normally seal your paint with, I use furniture paint, so Fusion Mineral Paint is what I've used. So you can use just any water-based sealer. So I use just usually a matte poly sealer or acrylic water-based sealer. And you just go over it in nice even strokes with your sealer, paint it on. There we go. Isn't that adorable? So that is the sign loved. And let's have a look at our wooden tags. And we've got 2 vintage sets left. Here's our wooden tag. Now I've pre-stained that with just a water-based sealer in a walnut kind of colour. You could use any colour you like for that. And I'm going to use this mini tag set. So the link for this is there in our pinned comments. And the tags have 3 mini tags inside them. These are cute for Valentine's, but I'm going to use, and for baking, but I'm going to use this top one here, homemade goodies. But I'm going to leave off the cake and the goodies and just use the homemade on the top of the tag. Then I'm going to add a beautiful postage stamp. And then we'll use something else on the other side that you will have to stay tuned to see what I'm going to use. Okay, this one says, love from the oven. Gorgeous little tag. And then baked with love. So these are great little mini tags. You could use them on a wood tag. If you are needing some tags, I do have my Amazon affiliate link where I've got a whole list of all the supplies that I've used in the past or that you can find that would be great to stencil on, like wood tags, like you know, sort of just different tools for stenciling. So for this one, I was thinking of putting the stamp on first, and on the other side, let's have a go at using these gorgeous vintage floral bunnies. So let's do this side first, because this is the side I'm going to use the homemade. So this could be a tag for a gift on a homemade anything, really. As I showed you before, each set has 2 sheets in it. And I did mention this at the beginning, but the more transfer sets you order, the more you save. So if you order 1, it's one price, but then if you order 2, you save on that single price. And then if you order 4, you save even more. So don't you love this large stamp in the middle? That's gorgeous. And we have lots of small stamps on the other side. And then the second sheet has these large stamps on it. Great, aren't they? Amazing. I can imagine them on a coffee table, piece of furniture, a little wooden box, a trinket box, also for journaling and some of your scrapbooking. These would be amazing. So I'm going to use just the homemade part of this. So imagining that I'm giving this a gift for someone and I've made them. It could be baking goodies. It could have been something else that I've made. And I just want to add a tag to the gift. So I'm going to add the homemade part at the top. And I do also want to, I usually tape up this hole at the top. That hole is just so that you can align or line up your tag with your wooden tag. These are ones that Essential Stencil used to stock, but they don't stock them anymore. But you can find similar. So I just usually put a thing up there so that the paint doesn't run in the hole as I'm stenciling. So this homemade colour, I think I'll just use that cast iron that I used earlier. Yes, Kathy, it could be a stenciled sign you made. That could be the gift. So there's that. All right, so I'm just offloading my charcoal colour off the brush again, and I really only need a tiny bit at the top of here to do this. There is a little heart up here. You could leave that on, take it off, whatever you like. But hearts don't have to be just for Valentine's, do they? It could be just my love, from my love to you, giving you this gift, and it's homemade, made it myself. You might sew, you might be really great at knitting or crocheting and you've made a gift. Here's a little something. I thought that would last. Hang on, didn't have quite enough on my brush just to finish that off. Yes, it might be just something you've made. Now the other thing, that when you do get your little mini tags, this set, they come with these black separators so that you can separate the stencils, but I love to use these as gift tags. So all you have to do, excuse me, is just cut these, trace that, and cut those tops and cut a little hole in it, and you've got yourself a little tag. I made some of these up with some of the Christmas mini tags for Christmas goodies. So you can do that. And yes, spread the love all year round. So there we go. We've got our charcoal, which should contrast nicely against that stain, the wood stain colour. And there we go. There's the homemade. You could do a little shadow on that as well if you wanted to. I think I'll leave it just as is today. So there is our homemade at the top. And wouldn't that look perfect with a little vintage stamp underneath it? So let's do that. Now let's have a look. We will be using the smaller ones, although some of these could still fit, some of these on the large page. My scissors. Oh, look at this. It's a little, what do you call that? A Vespa? That little bike, scooter, Vespa? I think it is. That is cute. Sometimes I don't see the detail until I'm looking for an actual something to use. So one of these down here would fit also. And then there's this gorgeous round one, but I think the round one might just tip over the edge of our wooden tag. So you would have to maybe do that on something different. This one would look great. A lot of them have spring flowers, but I think that little Vespa is absolutely cute. Let's just go with this one at the bottom because you can always just see if it fits, okay? Cut that out. And as I said before, these are single use only, so you can't just, like the stencils you can use over and over again, you just wash them off. But the transfers are single use only. So if you do like, you know, lots of large ones, then you might want to get more sets. The more you get, the more you save also. All right, so I think that's going to work perfectly at the bottom of our little mini tag. So let's just grab that. And you'll notice, now I'm not going to know until I put it on how that's going to show up. Maybe it's going to blend too much and maybe I should have done a contrasting, like a white background on this. Do you see what I mean? So I love that you can learn from my mistakes. So if we are, if you're doing this, you might want to, oh, someone thought about doing transfers. Is it transfers inside an oyster shell, Sally? That sounds like a fun idea. Sorry, I'm just distracted by my comments sometimes, and I love that you guys are commenting. I love seeing what you're talking about. Chat amongst yourselves, but don't forget we've got a giveaway coming up at the end of our live, so you don't want to miss that. So keep chattering. All right, this is going to fit just perfectly right in here, and we'll see. It might be just fine, but it is sort of a similar tone to the wood around the edges. So I've just laid that down and I'm rubbing all over the transfer, and we'll just lift that up. So we're just lifting up that plastic edge up the top here. And there we go. So we've got, that's coming up really nicely. So if you do notice that any of the transfer is still sticking to this top backing, plastic see-through backing, then you just lay it right back down and continue to rub until it's all coming off really well. So just go this way now. There we go. So that's going to come off nicely. Sometimes it helps to just go back a different way. Can come from any direction really. And again, just smoothing my finger, making sure there's no little bubbles, making sure all of the edges are run down smooth. But oh my goodness, how cute does that look? Homemade. Then I was thinking, and you could do this or you could do them singly on their own single little cells, but I was thinking of putting an Easter bunny on the back of here, a bunny or an egg. And if you wanted to, you could find some of the Easter mini tags that you might have already, or the Easter mini sets that they have still on the Essential Stencil site. And some of those wordings might fit on the back of a tag. And then the person you're giving the gift to, it might be homemade Easter goodies too that you're making. The person you're giving the gift to could use this as a tag for like a, what am I thinking? Tiered tray, so a spring decor kind of a thing. But I just love how that turned out. I was thinking that it would be, you know, too blending in to the wood color, but it really doesn't. It just stands out just like a stamp would. So I like it. Love the way that turned out. All right, so here's our, what are they called? Vintage floral bunnies. So if you look up, I do believe that Essential Stencil has 2 different bunny transfer types. There's a gorgeous, another Easter one, but these vintage eggs are adorable. And I'm going to have a hard time trying to choose. And then this is the second page here. So we've got larger bunnies on here, smaller ones on here, and those eggs are adorable. Oh, now I don't know whether to choose a bunny or an egg, because an egg, I sometimes get the tag and just pop it right there. So an egg would look gorgeous. This bunny would come off the edges. So I just kind of place my sign or my whatever I'm working on. All right, guys, what do you reckon? This one will fit. This one will fit perfectly. This one, not quite. So we've got eggs that fit perfectly and one little bunny. What do you think? Bunny or the egg? The bunny or the egg? I'll cut out some options, but let me know in the comments what you would choose. So we're just cutting out around the transfer. Bunny, 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 egg. Someone says egg. Bunny. I think bunny's winning, you guys. Bunny is winning. So remember, we've done our stamp on the other side, and the stamp was the one that I saw that there was only about 12 sets of these left. So if you did want those, grab them now, don't wait. And then as you add things to your cart at the checkout, remember that it unlocks different gift levels. So it unlocks free gifts. So there's, once you reach $40, $65 and $90, there's free gift options. All right, free gift offers, and that's happening all of January. Oh, I've got some little piece of paint stuck on the edge there. That's okay, we'll get that off. Fix that later. All right, so, oh, gorgeous. Just looks beautiful, sitting like so. Now, again, just rubbing that down because that sticky side is now attached to the wood, but we need to make sure it's rubbed right on in the grain of the wood, or on the surface anyway, so that it doesn't come off. And again, we talked about sealing your signs and things before, if you wanted to, and I probably would if it's going to be used a lot. But a sign just kind of sits on the wall, so you may want to, you may not want to seal it, but I do think that sealing your signs gives it a nice professional finish to your sign making. So I would encourage you to do so. I don't often do sealing on the lives because it sort of takes up a little bit of time, but if you do want a demo of that sometime, you might be able to do that. There are spray sealers you can get to, so there's that. Or the one I use the Fusion Mineral Paint Flat Matte Sealer. They do have a gloss sealer also, so if you like a bit more of a glossy look or a glossy finish, you can use that. Okay. And don't go anywhere, guys, because remember, we've got a giveaway at the end of our live, and that will be for 3 people will win $20 Essential Stencil gift gift vouchers that you can spend on the Essential Stencil website. Oh my goodness, I just love it. I love it. So there is our little bunny mini gift tag that you could use on a tiered tray for spring. These ones came with this wooden string, but you could honestly put a gorgeous little bow on yours. I'm just going to tie a knot in the end just for the sake of demoing what it might look like with a string hanger, and then poke that through the hole, and then with our knot end we just zip it through and pull it up tight. So there we go. There is our gorgeous homemade gift tag. All right, so that is all the demoing I have for you today. I hope you love those transfers and grab a hold of those. Don't forget to use my code, or if you do use any of the links that we've got right there in our description or our pinned comment, that will automatically put that 10% off in at the checkout. So I encourage you to just use those links for ease of use. And we are about to pick some winners. I believe Essential Stencil is going to pick some winners for us today. Let me just pop this back up. I'm Sharon from the blog IRESTORESTUFF. I just wanted to show you that you can find me at IRESTORESTUFF.com and have a look at all of my blog posts on home decor, furniture painting. I actually have just finished a blog post using one of Essential Stencil's stencils, the faux rattan stencil. So if you go onto IRESTORESTUFF.com, hit the blog tab, and you'll see my latest blog post on how I used a stencil. I haven't even posted about that and tagged Essential Stencil on that one yet, so I'm giving you a sneak heads up about that latest blog post on my website, IRESTORESTUFF.com. You are so welcome. All right, let me just read out our winners for today. And you've each won a $20 gift card from Essential Stencil. We have Brenda, Shannon, and Elisa. So thank you so much for joining in and joining in the comments. Don't forget, if you're watching the replay, to comment the word replay. But you guys, you've got instructions there. There hasn't been a tag, so if you know Brenda or Shannon or Elisa, or if you're not listening, let them know. They have to email support@essentialstencil.com. Let them know that they're a winner on Sharon's Live today, Wednesday night, and they will send you, let them know where to send it to, where to send your prize to. Actually, it'll probably be an email credit gift card. Okay, congratulations, winners. And guys, I loved this. I hope you do too. I will see you again next week for another fun live DIY. Bye.